Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and today I am a little late on this Saturday Shelfie. It is Saturday evening, and I have been out all day, and I just did not have time to pre-film this or get this filmed until now, so I may not even get it uploaded until Sunday, but this is my Saturday Shelfie tour. Since we just finished up the Middle Grade May Reads Readathon, for most of my May Saturday Shelfies, I showed you my middle grade books, and it wouldn't be a fair representation of my middle grade books if I didn't show you my Newbery shelf. This is a shelf that is around in our home office, kind of around the corner from where I normally do most of my filming, and this shelf is all Newbery Medal winners. I don't have them all because there are almost 100 of them now, but these are the ones that I have, and as I go through them I will tell you which ones I've read and which ones I haven't read, and which ones I would recommend, because even though they're Newbery winners, not all of them are all that wonderful in my opinion. So let's get started. The John Newbery Medal is awarded to an American author each year for a distinguished contribution to children's literature, and there is one medal winner each year, and then usually anywhere from 1 to 3 honor books. And I only have winners on this shelf. I do have a few honor books, but I have them with my regular middle grade books. Now I'm going to be going in chronological order from 1922 to the present. The Newbery Medal winners are chosen from the books that were published in the previous year. So for instance, if I tell you that a book was the Newbery winner in 1964, then that means it was published in 1963. Now, the award was first given in 1922, The Story of Mankind. I do not own that book. It's by Hendrik Willem van Loon. I have read it. And then the 1923 winner was The Voyages of Dr. Dolittle by Hugh Lofting, and I have read that. But I don't own it either. I do, however, have the third winner, which is from 1924, The Dark Frigate by Charles Hawes, and I rather like this. It's a ship story, as you can tell from the cover, and it's not gotten a lot of love from the Newbery group on Goodreads, but I actually rather enjoyed it. I didn't think I would, but it wasn't too bad. So we're going to skip to the 1930 winner. This is Hitty, Her First 100 Years by Rachel Field, and I have not read this. You may have heard of this one. I think there have been maybe more than one movie adaptation of Caddy Woodlawn by Carol Ryrie Brink. I have not read the full version. I have listened to a audio theater version, but I have yet to read the whole book. 1941, Call It Courage by Armstrong Sperry. I have listened to this on audio. And I promised Jen from Today in Jen's Library that I would start naming the narrators. However, it was so long ago, I don't have any hope of remembering who the narrator was. But if I can find it out, then I will type it in below. This one I loved. This is Johnny Tremaine by Esther Forbes. It is the 1944 winner. This is a fantastic historical fiction book about the American Revolution, and I just love this one. This book just really made history come alive for me, and I would highly recommend it. I have not read The 21 Balloons by William Penet Dubois. This is from 1948. And Ginger Pie by Eleanor Estes was the 1952 winner, and I have not read it either. The 1954 winner was And Now Miguel by Joseph Crumgold, and I have read this. The 1956 winner, Carry On Mr. Bowditch by Jean Lee Latham, and I have not read this. I have 2 editions of The Witch of Blackbird Pond by Elizabeth George Spear. I guess I need to pass one of these on to someone else. I don't know why I have 2, but this one just looks like a romance, and as I recall, this story is not a romance, so I'll probably get rid of that one and keep this one. This one, I think, is a better depiction of what the story's about. And The Witch of Blackbird Pond is the 1959 winner. The 1960 winner is Onion John by Joseph Crumgold, and I have not read this. This is one of my favorites, The Bronze Bow by Elizabeth George Spear. It is the winner from 1962. This is probably one of the more famous ones from quite a while back, A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle, and it is the winner from 1963. The 1964 winner, The Year I Was Born, It's Like This Cat by Emily Neville. And I've read this one because this was published the year I was born in 1964, but it's the winner for 1965, Shadow of a Bull, and I don't know how to say the last name. Maya, I'm going to take a stab and say Wachowska, but I could be way off. So I will type it in where you can actually see for yourself. Alright, skipping to 1968, I have read this and really enjoyed it. From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler by E.L. Konigsberg. I just discovered I have 2 copies of Sounder by William H. Armstrong, so I've already taken one out and laid it aside. And I don't know why I have 2 copies, because this is actually my least favorite of all of the ones I've read so far. I don't know why. It was just so depressing. I probably need to give this another chance, but I just did not enjoy this one. I have not read The Summer of the Swans by Betsy Beyer. It is the 1971 winner. Here's another one of my favorites. I actually read this one as a kid. Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim by Robert C. O'Brien. It is the 1972 winner. The 1973 winner is Julie of the Wolves by Jean Craighead George, and I've read this and really enjoyed it. Now, y'all have heard me talk about this one lately, The Grey King by Susan Cooper. It's the 4th book in the Dark is Rising sequence, so I'm currently in the middle of reading the whole series so that I can get back to this one and hopefully understand it this time around. When I tried to read it the first time, I had no clue what was going on. So now I've read books 1 and 2, so as soon as I read book 3, which is Greenwich, I will be able to read this one. From 1977, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred D. Taylor. As I recall, this one is pretty depressing as well, and I don't generally like depressing books, but I may have to give this one another try sometime. And what's with the depressing books? This is the next, this is 1978, Bridge to Terabithia. Again, a great story, but very depressing. I also have The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin. I listened to this on audio years ago, and I don't remember a whole lot about it. I mean, I kind of remember the basic premise, but I don't remember how it ended or anything, so I may have to go back and reread this one sometime. I've heard a few people talking about this one on BookTube over the last couple of years, and so I know this one has gotten some attention of late, and I have to keep this one on a different shelf because it is tall. It is too tall for this shelf, so I have to just lay it on top here because it doesn't fit. This is Dicey's Song by Cynthia Voigt. This is the 1983 winner. This is part of a series that I really do enjoy. I think this is book 2 in the series, the Tillerman Family series, and I think it's a really good series, and the cover just doesn't do this book justice. This cover would not make me want to pick up this book, but I did read it because it's a Newbery winner, and I did really enjoy it. Here's one that's awesome, Dear Mr. Henshaw by Beverly Cleary. This is a fantastic book. It's epistolary, and it's just awesome. I have not read the 1985 winner by Robin McKinley, The Hero and the Crown. I do have a couple of other Robin McKinley books, and I hope to read another one of her books this year. I'll hopefully get to this one at some point pretty soon. I have the 1986 winner, which I have read. Actually, I've read this whole series, Sarah Plain and Tall by Patricia McLaughlin. This also has a wonderful movie adaptation. I believe they have made a movie for all 3 books starring Glenn Close, and they're really wonderful. I have multiple copies of this next one because it is one of my favorites. It is The Whipping Boy by Sid Fleischman. I think I first probably got this one, but then I ran across the edition that I really like, which is this one, and ended up keeping it. But I also have this paperback plus edition, which has some special features in the back, and it even has yet a different cover. So this is the 1987 winner. This is really one of my all-time favorites. Every kid should read this one. I have read this multiple times when I'm subbing to like 3rd and 4th grade groups. This book is just fantastic, and if you do it with a really fun accent, you can really get the kids involved, and it's just a lot of fun. It's super short, it's a quick and easy read, and it is fantastic. The 1988 winner I do not keep on the shelf because it is too big. This is Lincoln, a photobiography by Russell Friedman. This is a great book. I have read this and I really enjoyed it. I think it's very well done, and and I highly recommend it. All right, from 1992, I have Shiloh by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor. This also is really good. I have read this whole series. This has a movie adaptation, and it's just a fantastic book. I just reread this actually in May, and it's called Missing May by Cynthia Rylant. This I have some mixed feelings about, but it is a sweet story about dealing with the loss of a loved one, and I enjoyed rereading it. It is the 1993 winner. The 1994 winner is The Giver, and we do have a copy, but it lives on Katie's shelf with the rest of the series, and I went to retrieve it just so I could show it to you, and it wasn't in its place. So not sure where it is right this moment, but I do have a copy of The Giver, and it is the 1994 winner, and it is probably my all-time favorite Newbery winner. The 1995 winner I have read, Walk Two Moons by Sharon Creech. Sharon Creech is an author that I really enjoy, and this is a great book. The 1996 winner is Midwife's Apprentice by Karen Cushman. I don't own this book, but since I have it checked out from the library right now, I thought I'd show it to you. This is a book that I just reread during the middle grade May Reads Readathon, so I thought I would just stick it in here, although it's, like I said, it's not my book, so technically I shouldn't include it in a bookshelf tour. But since I'm showing you Newbery winners, here it is. And I reread, I had read this before, and this one's kind of harsh. It's not my favorite. It's not a bad story, but I kind of question whether it's completely appropriate for middle grade. I don't know. But it's definitely a good story. Another one I just reread for May is The View from Saturday by E.O. Konigsberg. This is the 1997 winner. The 1998 winner I also just reread in May, Out of the Dust by Karen Hess. And this book is fantastic. The 1999 winner, which I also think is awesome, is Holds by Louis Sachar. The Newbery winner from the year 2000 is Bud Not Buddy by Christopher Paul Curtis. This book is also fantastic. I listened to this on audio several years ago, and I thought it was great. I have A Year Down Yonder by Richard Peck. Also a fantastic book. I love the grandma in this series. She is just a piece of work, but she definitely makes the books a lot more interesting. I have two copies of A Single Shard by Linda Sue Park. This is the 2002 winner. I was just looking at these, trying to decide which one I like better, because I probably ought to weed one out. This one I think is the one I'm going to keep. It's a little bit banged up. It's a paperback, but I really like the artwork on this cover. I think a little bit better than this one. This is not a bad cover either, and it's a nice hardcover book, but I think I don't like it quite as much as the other one. The 2003 Newbery winner is Crispin, The Cross of Lead by Avi. I love this book. I had to go look for it. It wasn't on the shelf. I had pulled it off the shelf because I recently read the second book in this series, and I had wanted to reread the last couple of chapters of this one just so I could kind of remember how this one ended. And I hadn't put it away yet, so this one is a great book. I would definitely recommend it. Then skipping up to 2010, now I have read all of the books in between 2003 and 2010. I just don't own any of them. But the 2010 winner is When You Reach Me by Rebecca Stead. Then I've got two more that don't fit on the shelf, so they are stuck up a little higher. Here is Dead End in Norvelt by Jack Gantos, and The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. I found this at a library book sale. It doesn't have a dust jacket, but I loved it so much when I read it that it's worth having it on my shelf even if it doesn't have a dust jacket. Then I've got the 2014 Newbery winner checked out from the library, so since I showed you Midwife's Apprentice, I may as well show you this one. It's Flora and Ulysses by Kate DiCamillo. I love this book. It has to be the most unique premise of any book I've ever read, and it's adorable, so I definitely recommend it, and at some point I will probably try to find my own copy. But for now, I have it checked out from the library, and I thought I'd show it to you. Alright, so those are the Newbery Medal winners that I have. I hope you enjoyed this bookshelf tour, and that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.